안녕하세요. Welcome back to Korean Saturday School. Today is week 1 and today is April 10. And I just want to say welcome back. I know we had our break for a while, but we are back for our spring semester of 한글학교. So this is the New York 초대 한국문화학교 and we will begin our first spring class today. Welcome back or welcome if it's your first time here. 환영합니다. My name is Sarang Kim or Kim Sarang 선생님, and I am in charge of the 진달래반. So I'm just going to give a quick explanation. If you have received the package, if you stop by to pick it up, it should be in this folder, and inside I'm just going to show you really quickly what's in this folder. So in the folder we have our book that we're going to use. It's the blue book. It's a 한글학교 한국어 level 2 book. You should have this, and also you should have some pieces of papers. Now, the other pieces of papers we're gonna use not today, but for the next few weeks. And right now, I just want to go over our syllabus. So on this paper, it should say all the things that we're going to be learning, all the materials, the pages, and the book, and the date. So be familiar with this. Today, we're going to have our first lesson. Okay, if you look on our syllabus, you should see that today's date is April 10. So today's lesson is going to be on pages 6 through 15 in this book. If you did not receive this book, the link to the PDF and pictures of this book will be linked down below, so you can use the website if you don't have the book. And we're going to do lesson 1, which is 누가 노래해요? And it's in your book. So the first page should look like this. 누가 노래해요? And if you guys turn to page 6, it should look like this. It's on the screen, so let's follow through. So, 누가 노래해요? What does that mean? It means who is singing. Okay? So today's lesson is going to be about who is singing. So let's read the dialogue that we see right here at the bottom. 누가 노래해요? 미라가 노래해요. 누가 공부해요? 민수가 공부해요. So in today's lesson, we're going to learn of how to say what someone is doing. We're going to observe images, and then we're going to learn how to describe what that person is doing in the image, and how we ask what they're doing, and how the person would answer what they're doing. So, 누가 노래해요 means who is singing. And the girl answers, she replies, 미라가 노래해요. Okay, so she's saying Mira is singing. And on the bottom, the same girl asks, 누가 공부해요? 누가 공부해요? Which means who is studying? And then the boy responds, 민수가 공부해요, which means 민수 is studying. Okay, so how do we break down what this question and answer means? Okay, so 누가, the question starts with 누가. 누가 means who. And so when you ask a question, you normally in English too, we would say who is doing what. So in this case, who is 누가 and what is blah 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 해요, blank blank 해요. Okay, so 해요 means to do or doing. Okay, so who is doing what? So if we look on the next page, it gives you some examples of things that you can do. So if you turn to the next page, this should be on page 7. So if we look at the images, there is on the first image on the left, there is a boy that is singing, and it says 노래해요, which means singing. And then the one on the right says 수영해요, which means swimming. Next one, 운동해요, exercising. 이야기해요, talking or speaking, having a conversation. 전화해요, she's on the phone. 공부해요 is studying. 자요, sleeping. 일어나요 is waking up. So if you can, I want you guys to read over this multiple times. Practice saying it. 노래해요, 수영해요, 운동해요, 이야기해요, 전화해요, 공부해요, 자요, 일어나요. Okay? All of these different things are actions of what someone is doing. Okay? So realize how everything ends with 해요. That means it is happening. You are doing it right now. Okay? And then the first part of that phrase, it is what you're doing. So for instance, 노래 means sing, but then if you add 해요 to the end, it becomes singing. Like I'm singing, she's singing, they're singing, we're singing. Okay? And then 수영. 수영 is swim, and adding the 해요 at the end means that it is happening now. So they're swimming. 운동 is exercise. 해요, 운동해요 means exercising. 이야기. 이야기 means talk or story. But 이야기해요 is you're talking, you're telling the story. 전화해요. 전화 is call. 전화해요 means you're calling. 공부해요. 공부해요. 공부 is study. 해요 is you're studying. 자 means sleep. So 자요 is sleeping. And 일어나 means wake up. So 일어나요 would be waking up. If you guys have a notebook or anything, a piece of paper, I want you guys to copy this a few times just so you're familiar with how to write it and you can memorize it. Okay, if we're ready, we're going to go on to the next page. Page 8. Page 8 gives you two different scenarios and two different images. So let's go over the top one first. Top one I put on the left. So let's see, there's a boy and a girl on the phone. So the girl one asks, 누가 전화해요? And then the other girl responds, 슬기가 전화해요. So what does that mean? So she's asking, 누가, who? 누가 전화해요? Who is calling? And then she responds, 슬기가 전화해요. So 슬기가 is the person that is calling. Who is calling? So 슬기가, she is. 슬기 is calling. 전화해요. So the first part, you add the word 가 after the name or the person to refer that it is that person who is doing the action, which is 전화해요. She is calling. Okay? And then if we look on the bottom, which is on the right of my screen, but the bottom of the page in the textbook, we see people in a swimming pool. There's 3 people in the swimming pool. And the conversation goes, 재우가 수영해요? And the girl answers, 아니요, 민수가 수영해요. So the person is asking, is 재우 swimming? So 재우 is the boy who is in the blue swim shorts with the blue cap and goggles on his forehead. He is sitting on the side of the pool. He is not swimming. But the person is asking, is 재우 swimming? 재우가 수영해요? And then the person responds, 아니요, no, 민수가 수영해요. That means 민수 is swimming. Okay, remember they add the word 가 after the name and then they end with what they're doing. 민수가 수영해요. So 재우's not swimming, but 민수 is swimming. 민수 is the one in the water right here. All right, moving on to the next page. We're on page 9. 연결해 보세요. Now we're gonna try to do a little matching. So we're going to see the image on the left and then we're gonna match it with the correct action they're doing on the right. So let's just read what we see on the right. Okay, so 이야기해요. The first one, top right. 이야기해요. 이야기 means talking. So they are talking. And the next one says 운동해요. What is 운동? 운동 means exercising or working out. It could be playing sports or anything like that. Or going to the gym, just exercising in general. 운동해요. Third one, 일어나요. That means waking up. And then last one, 노래해요. 노래해요. They're singing. Okay, so let's look at the images and try to match it up. So let's look at the first one. In the first image, a boy is playing soccer. So this could be a form of sport, exercise. So what would that be? 이야기해요, 운동해요, 일어나요, or 노래해요. Now we know that exercising means 운동해요, which is the second one here. So we're just going to match them. Okay, next one. We see a girl and a boy and they look like that they are talking. So how do we say two people are talking? We say 이야기해요. 이야기해요 is the first one right here. So we're just going to match that up. Third one, there's a boy. I think this boy is Minsu. Yeah, if I remember correctly, on the last page before, the guy who was swimming was Minsu, and he's right here. But this time he is singing. So singing, to sing is 노래. To be singing is 노래해요, which is this one. 노래해요. And the last but not least, there's a boy. Is he appears to be Cheu or not. He looks similar, but and he's waking up. And waking up means to wake up means 일어나. In the morning, I'm pretty sure some of your moms, your parents, they come into your room and they go 일어나, which means wake up. Okay, but if you're waking up, we say 일어나요, which is this one. Okay, if you got any wrong, make sure to correct it. If you got confused, just keep practicing writing it over and over again, reading it over and over again, and saying it over and over again. Okay, now we're gonna go to page 10. Next page, and it says 그림을 보고 써보세요. Okay, we're gonna look at the picture and we're going to finish the sentence. So the part where we're gonna fill is based on the big picture here, while this is the small little faces are the conversations. Okay, so in this image there is Minsu, the boy who was swimming, and he is on the phone. Okay, so the girl's saying 누가 blank 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 blank. So she's asking who's on the phone. And then we know that the question is being asked who's on the phone because the answer, this boy answers 민수가 전화해요. That means Minsu is calling. But how would you ask a question where you would answer Minsu is calling? You would say who is calling, right? So how do we write calling? Calling would be 전화해요. It's right here. But we're going to write that right here. 누가 전화해요? Who is calling? And the answer is 민수가 전화해요. Means Minsu is calling. Okay, let's do number 2 now. We see a girl. I think that is 슬기. I'm not sure what that looks like, 슬기. I think that is 슬기. So 슬기 is swimming in her pool. So it's not 슬기. Oh no. It's Mira, because the answer says 미라가 수영해요. So this girl in the red with the red hair, she's asking blank blank 수영해요. So who is swimming? And then boy answers 미라가 수영해요. That means Mira is swimming. So how do you ask a question? So we always say who before we say what. So who means 누가. So we're gonna write 누가 수영해요. And then the answer is gonna be 미라가 수영해요. Okay, and then the last one, there is a woman and a child, and it seems like they're singing together. So the boy asks, 슬기가 노래해요? And then, so what does that mean? 슬기가, that means 슬기 is 노래해요, 노래 is sing. So 슬기가 노래해요? Since it's a question, it's gonna be, is 슬기 singing? And the boy answers, 아니요, no, blank blank blank, 노래해요. So when we refer to who is doing what, we say blank blank. We say their name and then we say 가. So for instance, the first question was 민수가 or 미라가. Okay, so we say 아니요. But in this case, if 슬기's not singing, who's singing? This woman is singing, and this woman, we're just gonna call her mom. So 엄마가. We're gonna say 아니요. 엄마가 노래해요. So 슬기's not the one singing, it's her mom that's singing. Okay. So I want you guys to copy this in your textbook, and if you don't have one, I want you to write it on a piece of paper. You guys can always pause the video if this is too fast. Just make sure you write everything correctly. Make sure everything is spelled correctly. Okay, and then let's move on to page 11. So in this page, we see more examples of what people are doing. Okay, so on the top it says, 누가 뭘 해요? 이야기해 보세요. So who is doing what? And let's talk about it. So I'm just gonna quickly say everything, like everyone and what everyone is doing, okay? So in the first image on the left, Minsu is swimming. And then in the middle picture, Mira is studying. She's writing in her book, she's studying. The third picture, I don't know what this girl's name is, but she is sleeping. And then on the bottom, there's a 할아버지 watching TV. So he is watching TV. And then we see this boy, he's waking up. So the boy is waking up. And then last but not least, there's a boy and he is heading to school. So he is walking to school. Or he is going to school. So let's look at the example they give us on the bottom. So the girl says, 누가 수영해요? And then boy answers, 민수가 수영해요. So 민수 is this boy in the first image, the top left. Okay, so we're going to practice saying each one. We're going to say who is doing what, and then we're going to answer that person is doing that. Okay, so the first one they already did. 누가 수영해요? Who is swimming? 민수가 수영해요. Now I'm going to ask, 누가 공부해요? 누가 공부해요? Who is studying? Now we see Mira is studying, so we're going to say 미라가, which means Mira is, and then we're going to say what she's doing. 미라가 공부해요. That means Mira is studying. Now for the next image, it's she's sleeping, so we're going to ask 누가, who? 누가 자요? Because 자요 means sleeping. 누가 자요? And then we're going to answer. Let's pretend her name is Sarah. Okay, so we're gonna say Sarah가 자요. 누가 자요? Sarah가 자요. Okay, remember we add the word 가 after the person's name. So in the bottom left picture, there's a 할아버지. He's watching TV. So we're gonna ask 누가 테레비 봐요? Who is watching TV? And we're gonna say 할아버지가, so 할아버지 is grandpa, and then we add the word 가 at the end. 할아버지가 테레비 봐요. Okay, and then the middle picture on the bottom, he's waking up. So we're gonna ask, who is waking up? 누가 일어나요? 누가 일어나요? And then we're gonna say, what should his name be? I think his name was, let's see, 재우. So we're gonna say 재우가 일어나요. So 누가 일어나요? 재우가 일어나요. And the last one, okay, so the last one, we see a boy and he is walking to school, and we're gonna say 누가 학교 가요? Which means who is going to school, and then we're gonna answer. Let's give him a name. We're gonna name him 요셉. Okay, so 누가 학교 가요? And then we're gonna say 요셉이 학교 가요. Okay, and then we're gonna go to the next page. Okay, this is page 12, and it says 들어봐요. Okay, so this is the listening portion of our lesson. Usually this would be our quiz or like mini test that we have in person, but since not, I'm going to trust you guys to match it. So I'm going to read a scenario and then you guys are gonna match it, okay? For this, you would need, okay, in your folder, there should be a paper that looks like a tree with circles on it. It looks something like this. And what you're gonna do with this is, there are 4 questions, as you see on the screen. If you get all of them right, you give yourself 4 stickers. You fill each hole with 1 sticker. There are 33 possible slots, okay? So if you get 4 questions right, you put 4 stickers. There should be stickers in your envelope, okay? So you could just put those stickers for every question you get right on each of our lessons, okay? So I'm going to read the scenario. So you're gonna look at the picture and then you're gonna match it to the person, okay? So to be clear, I'm just gonna say the person. So the first person on the right is 서재우. So 재우. And then the next person here, the bottom is 김민수. So that's Minsu. And then below him is 강미라, which is Mira. And then last girl is 이슬기. So her name is 슬기. So it's 재우, 민수, 미라, 슬기. Okay? And based on the scenario, you're gonna match it to the person. So I'll repeat everything twice, so listen carefully. First one is 누가 수영해요? 누가 수영해요? 슬기가 수영해요. 슬기가 수영해요. Okay. Number 2. 민수가 공부해요? 민수가 공부해요? 아니요. 재우가 공부해요. 아니요. 재우가 공부해요. Third question, the third image. 누가 밥을 먹어요? 누가 밥을 먹어요? 민수가 밥을 먹어요. 민수가 밥을 먹어요. Last one. 누가 전화해요? 누가 전화해요? 미라가 전화해요. 미라가 전화해요. Okay, one last time. The first dude is 재우, and then 민수, and then 미라, and then 슬기. Okay, so let's go over it. Hopefully you guys are done, but so the first one, first image, there are people swimming, and the question was 누가 수영해요? Who is swimming? And the answer is 슬기가 수영해요. 슬기 is swimming. So which one of these is 슬기? We have 재우, 민수, 미라, and 슬기. So it would be this one. Okay, the second one was, the question was 민수가 공부해요? Is 민수 studying? The answer was 아니요, 재우가 공부해요. It means no, 재우 is studying. Which one of these is 재우? It's the first one, 서재우. Okay, if you got this right, give yourself a sticker. And then the third picture, the question was 누가 밥을 먹어요? Who is eating? And then the answer was 민수가 밥을 먹어요. 민수 is eating. And 민수 is the second person here. Last but not least, the last image, the question was 누가 전화해요? Who is calling? And the answer was 미라가 전화해요. Now who's Mira? It's the third girl. Okay, so if you got these right, make sure to give yourself the stickers and put it on. Oh, put it on here. All right, if you got everything right, good job, good for you, excellent job. All right, now we're gonna move on to the next page. Okay, so it is 누가 노래해요? And then they answer, 민수가 노래해요. Now this is just an example, but since we went over a lot on the other page, we're just going to move on. So this is an example, but we just read it. 누가 노래해요? Who is singing? And then the classmate answers, 민수가 노래해요. 민수 is singing. Okay, so we're going to do some more practices. So it says, 뭘 해요? 써보세요. What are they doing? Write it down. So let's see what the first person here is doing. Let's look at this image first. This woman and a 할머니 on the couch. And it appears that they are talking. So how do you say talking? Talking was 이야기해요. 이야기해요. I want you to write that in each box. Right there. 이야기해요. They are talking. Now what is this little boy doing? He's singing. How do you say singing? To sing means 노래, but to be singing is 노래해요. So we're going to write 노래해요. And then they already gave you this one. What is this 할아버지 doing? 할아버지가 뭐해요? And then we're going to say 할아버지가 전화해요. 전화해요. He's calling. And then we see this little girl. She is studying. She's reading a book. She's holding a pencil. Okay, she's writing her notes. She's studying. So we're going to say 공부해요. 공부해요. Last but not least, he's working out. This guy's exercising. He's growing them muscles. So how do you say exercising? You say 운동해요. 운동해요. All right, make sure you guys wrote that. 운동해요. Okay, make sure you guys wrote everything correctly. And then we're on our last page. So on our last page, super simple exercise. We're just going to copy exactly what it's written, exactly on the bottom, the way it is. So the first picture, you're on the book, it's formatted like this, but I split the picture because it did not fit all this way. So I split it. Don't be confused. It's the same thing. Okay, so the first one, which is on my top left, we see 민수 is singing. 민수 is always singing. Okay, so it says, 누가 뭘 해요? Who's doing what? 써보세요. Let's try writing it. Okay, so we're going to write the question and then we're going to write the answer. So the question is, 누가 노래해요? So you're going to copy that same exact question. 누가 노래해요? Who is singing? And then we're going to answer. 민수가 노래해요. 민수가 노래해요. That means 민수 is singing. All right, now on the bottom, right below that is 누가 수영해요? Who is swimming? You're going to write 누가 수영해요? And then the answer would be 슬기가 수영해요, which means 슬기 is swimming. So I'm right. 슬기가 수영해요. This is just practice, so you're writing exactly what it is that they give you. We're just gonna be practicing how to write these. Okay. And then the last example, it says 누가 전화해요? 누가 전화해요? That means who is calling. So we're gonna write 누가 전화해요? That means who is calling. So we're gonna write 누가 전화해요. Okay. And then we're gonna answer 미라가 전화해요. Mira is calling. So we're gonna write 미라가 전화해요. So just keep these in your everyday conversations. Just try to practice it more and more and it'll become more familiar. Okay, that is the end of our first lesson. Okay, this is the end. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you guys all next week. Thank you guys for coming out and just keep practicing. It's a easy thing you would ever do. Make sure to remember all the things we learn each week. And the link for this book will be in the description below. So if you need that, just click it. And we'll see you guys at the same time next week. Bye.